monitor off. There we go. That's much better. Hi, my name's Logan. I'm the Dungeon Master for the Virtually Heroes podcast and live stream that is mostly just a live stream because I don't really podcast anymore. And I thought I would take the time to go into some session building today. So I'll just set my screen up for that. And the goal today is going to be have a session ready by 4 o'clock. So let's just go ahead and get into it. So I use OneDrive. You could use a pencil and paper. And then just give the top of your notes something you can reference later. So I use the Return of the Lazy Dungeon Master methodology of prepping. Sort of. I do that. I use the 10-15 minute prep that's covered in this book. If you know affiliation or whatever, I just really like this book. This is the workbook. There's also like a hardcover actual book on going into notes and stuff, but it's really helpful to focus in on what absolutely the bare minimum you need to run a session. So by the end of this video, I've got 22 minutes. We will have a playable session. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to make a bulleted list, and I'm just going to remember my characters' names. All right, so these are the 4 characters from my players. And we'll come back to this list later, but I'm going to just real quick make a note of what the character has been going through recently or what I think they might be into, things like that. I'm just going to jot down. Rogue assassin with psychic blades, recently acquired cursed dagger. That's enough for me. Lightning wizard, skipped through time, has a lot of suspicions about the party and other goings on. Druid on holiday, just acquired a basilisk friend named Ozzy. By the way, if you can write down your characters or your players' familiars' names, it goes a long way. Just acquired a basilisk friend named Ozzy and a fancy moon sickle. And Sulfarius, cleric, monk with some worries about whether or not he is cursed. He's not, by the way. There will be spoilers for my live stream on here. Just because I've decided to do this for OnlyFans, that's what you're paying for, basically, is to know what's going to happen. But this is enough, so we're going to go ahead and move on to our next couple of lists. So I'm going to go ahead and in here, just write character recap. I have a really bad habit of capitalizing the second letter of words, and then I just want to make this a heading. And then another heading. Strong start. Do another heading. Potential scenes. Important NPCs. I'm going to reference my book real quick. Secrets and clues and fantastic locations. And clues, and fantastic locations. So for the most part, we need to fill in as much of these as possible. What we also can do is use things from past notes. So when I do this, I make them into checkboxes, and I check off what I've used and what I haven't. So in the last session we ended, they had just met this Lorkhan Renaud, who is a noble who was shitty to a farmer named Pugnacious Bloom, and they helped Bloom out, paid off the taxes that he owed, and are now headed to his house. So our strong start: chaos in the Bloom household. Okay. And then I really like doing my secrets and clues first. So let's go ahead and make a to-do list. And secret number, can I make this a numbered list? Yes, okay. Lady Renaud is a monstrous creature. Yeah, so the premise for this adventure, or this series of sessions, this is actually multiple sessions worth of notes. I just get it out fast. There's this shitty kid who's kind of ruining the town that his father owns. And his father is losing the favor of his people because he doesn't really do anything about it except for pay fines. So this adventure is also to drain the party of money. Like, that's the resource that's going. It's not HP, it's money. They're going to keep trying to help people, and this kid is just going to have more money than they do and be able to pay these fines, and it's going to drain them that way. But the reason that this works is the wife of the Baron, Lady Renaud, Lady Evelyn Renaud, is a kind of fey creature. So I kind of wanted to do, I thought about doing the false hydra and decided I didn't want to do that. So she feeds off of the degradation of lords. Like, that's what this creature feeds on. So the more strain is put on Lord Renaud, the more that she benefits from it. But instead of doing it specifically, this creature creates a problem, and the problem created was Lord Renaud's son. So that's kind of the premise. So Lady Evelyn Renaud is a monstrous creature feeding off of the misery of Lord Renaud and the town. So this, the way I do it is in order. The first one I come up with is like the most important thing, and then they get more clues and secrets kind of break apart after that. So things need to lead to number one. Like, they all need to culminate at your first biggest secret. You could also write the list in verse if you want to be able to check it downward, but it doesn't matter. Lorkhan Renaud, that's the name of the son, was... Now, actually, let's deal with this. Renaud has manipulative powers, like an enchantress, or maybe a succubus. Many of the townsfolk are missing loved ones that they can't seem to remember details of. So the idea of this is the townsfolk will have like a painting of like a husband or a son or something. They remember that they have the husband or son. They just don't know where they went. And that's also part of this creature's thing, is it does need sustenance. But part of its hold over the town is the more powerful it is by draining whoever's in control, the more it can exert influence over the people. And so I don't need to worry about them discovering this or getting into a fight super quickly. So I don't need to make a stat block for this creature yet. I have multiple sessions I can worry about that. But that's one point that I wanted to hit on, is a kind of clue. Lord Renaud was once well liked as a leader until Lorkhan was born. So this places the blame of what's going on Lorkhan. If this guy is... What the idea should be that they never realize that this guy is shitty. Or they never realize that the Lord Renaud is under Lady Renaud's control. They'll probably place blame on Lorkhan, and Lorkhan turning him into a bad guy. Lady Renaud needs to be like as low key as possible. So this isn't that big of a secret, so we're actually gonna place it up here. I want to come up with more secrets, but I'm gonna actually jump around to some potential scenes now. Again, numbered to-do list. I have some from last episode I'm going to steal. Yeah. So, a meeting with Lord Renaud. And then I'll outline these afterwards. And then there were two things that I didn't touch on: the Summit of Archives and Alyssa. So these are actually still potential scenes, which is gonna I'm gonna hit why that's important in a minute. Summit of Archives. I'm just gonna copy and paste from my last one. Always reuse notes if you can. Okay, and the reason that these are important is I need to go back up here. Concerns. Rondi has helmet of teleportation. Prepare a few scenes in Zealous where she returns. Okay, so that player does happen to have the ability to go back to Zealous. The whole party might go. In which case the Summit of Archives and Alyssa are things I need to have on my plate. I'll go into more in depth on the potential scenes in a minute. How am I doing on time? 10 minutes. Okay. Assassination contract with Jameson. I actually need to make scene number 1, which will definitely happen. Bloom's home. Here's another secret that's definitely not important. Bloom has a money spending problem. Ooh, here's a good potential scene. Lorkhan accuses party of highway robbery. Potential trial if they can't quit themselves. So Lorkhan is a noble, and there are little laws regarding that. So if he says, hey, they tried to stop me, steal my money, we barely got away, he and his 2 cousins, who are also nobles, are the witnesses against Bloom, and I need to make Bloom an unreliable ally to the party. So Bloom is has already been seen owing taxes. He doesn't really have his life together. He's kind of flighty and old. So we'll see how they get out of that. They might be able to, or they might just pay the fine. The other thing the theme I wanted to do with this adventure is if they just pay off all their fines, crimes with a penalty of a fine are not crimes for poor people, and they may or may not have issues with dealing with things like that. So I'd like to see how that plays out. Let's see. Lady Renaud has a lair at the bottom of the town well, full of strange spawn. So now we have that secret. The well has been cursed and the water is black. Potential investigation. So let's jump into the important NPCs we haven't established yet. This one's easy. Again, to do. Number. We're only going to come up with 3. Lord. Renaud. Lady. Renaud. Let's consider this important. Cool. Alma Sol, which is a character I've wanted to introduce for a while. It's just a post. She's not very important, but it does introduce the first iteration of an alien race in the world. You can just come up with names and write in backstory, like this: a Zolian merchant who sells potions and tinctures. The party won't be able to recognize her species. Zolians are important later on, just for something cool I want to do. But yeah, let's go ahead and finish our strong start. As you enter around the corner. What's a hillock? Okay, cool. Squat, stout, and I spelled squat wrong. Many figures. Livestock and equipment. A few wave to the cart as it approaches. So there's our opening narration. I do have, he has 37 children. All of the names are written here. A couple of them are missing. That should be so there's a clue. Oh, another important NPC is Bloom's wife. Pugnacious doesn't actually wear a beard or have hair. Part of his backstory is that he didn't know he was a dwarf and was raised by humans, which is why he talks with a different accent and stuff. And she is more like bringing the Baradunese culture into their household and things like that, which should be interesting with Jax. This should be enough material for a session. The Renaud estate, the potion shop. I do have a map of Rosenald. Let's bring that up. Okay. The dancing jungler and marching mushroom. Marching mushroom, dancing jungler. All right. And then some short descriptions. A wide array of fancy apartments. Fine cobblestone street behind the illustrious district of Fay Park. Many of the buildings are run down, missing paint or visibly in disrepair. Many of the sections of roofs look water damaged. I want to kind of convey that this guy is slowly losing what hold he has on his estate too, because he would be running out of money with years of Lorkhan just pulling everything away. That's kind of the description I would give for some of this. And then /goal. The party enters Rosenald to resupply and buy horses. Wittingly, they find themselves ensnared in the pranks and machinations. A horrible young noble whose father seems apathetic to the town and his son's actions. Eventually, the party will determine that the entire town is being manipulated by the Baroness. And chase her to her lair, where they will slay the creature. There we go. So that's my general goal. And that's, I think, it for this video. I know it was a lot, but tomorrow I'm going to go over flushing out most of the things I just came up with here, and then also it'll be a longer video because I think I'm going to take this map and I'm going to make a more convenient setup in World Anvil, so you'll be able to see that there. But yeah, thanks for watching, and hopefully there will be more of these to come.